The Field of Screams in Brandenburg, Kentucky just might be the biggest, if not the biggest, corn maze haunted attraction in Kentucky. Not only do they have the corn, they have the hayride, they've got the barn, and then the whole trail after the corn. This is a huge haunt, and we are going to show you guys around and tell you everything you need to know before you get here. Now, just for clarity, we don't have permission to film inside this haunt this year, but we are going to show you guys around, let you know what all the attractions are, and we're going to give you our thoughts after we go through each of them. All right, so we just got our tickets, and first up is going to be Hayride to Hell. This one costs $15 by itself, and the corn maze Field of Screams is $30 by itself, or you can get both of them for 40 bucks. That's what we did. They also have an optional fast pass you can upgrade for another 20. Highly recommend that. Once you get into October, it gets busy. All right, we're going to jump on the Hayride and let y'all know how it went. So before we get on the wagon here, I do see they've got these speakers here, so they're probably going to be playing some spooky sounds, creeping things out a little bit more. All right, we'll catch up with you when we get off the wagon. All right, guys, well, that was the Hayride to Hell. Up next is the Field of Screams. So that hayride was a lot of fun. Got a nice handful of scenes out there. It's kind of set up to where you go through scene, a little bit of space, scene, a little bit of space, that sort of thing. They got spiders, they got a jail, they've got aliens, they've got an old western town with real guns out there. All kinds of actors coming up on the wagon, interacting with folks, that sort of thing. And our guide for the wagon picked out one of the people on the wagon as their buddy, and everybody kind of picked on them a little bit. They made sure to share the love with everybody, though. I think our favorite actor on there was the clown girl. She was making her way up and down the hayride like it was a runway for she was doing a model. A little air horn she'd blast whenever somebody was sassing her a little bit too much. But yeah, thoroughly enjoyed the hayride. Up next is the Field of Screams. So this is the queue line for the field. You can kind of see it is pretty darn big. And it looks like they've even got a stage back here where they might do some like bands come out and do some queue entertainment. Kind of cool. Tonight is opening night and it's getting a little bit later on, so this early in September, that's why there's not too many people here tonight. Pro tip, the earlier you come out in the season, the less crowds there'll be. All right, so we just got out of the corn maze by the skin of our teeth. You can hear it back here, listen. You can hear the flash bulbs. It is freaking creepy now. That's probably the scariest room out there. So you saw at the beginning, they were kind of doing like a cinema type of theme, and so they're playing on some different movies, that sort of thing. They've got a little bit of Michael, a little bit of like Winnie the Pooh, a little bit of Barbie, so bringing in some modern things, and got some kind of raunchy scenes too. There's some guys out there that are kind of cross-dressing some of those roles, and they got some interesting dialogue, that's for sure. So ton of fun out here in the maze. Up next is the barn. This is a two-story barn. I think they've got a slide inside there, so super excited about that. I will catch up with you guys when we get on the other side. So they did have the slide open. I'm not sure if you can see it back here, but it's back here. That thing is fast. All right, so that was the barn. Very awesome. It's definitely a little more intense than the corn. Of course, because the scenes are just back to back to back, so it's a little more in-your-face, action-packed. All different kinds of fears and phobias in there. They got mental patients, they got prisoners, they've got a dentist, they've even got some clowns and stuff in there. It may not be for everybody, but they do have a place where you can crawl through also, but if you don't want to do the crawling, you can bypass it. So the cornfield was maybe another 15 minutes or so to go through, and then this barn here was maybe another 10 minutes or so. So that brings us to the woods, and they've got this little hillbilly shack over here with the moonshine still that kind of blows off every once in a while. All right, we're gonna get in there and let you know how the woods was. All right, so we just got out of the trail, and that was just as awesome as the rest of the haunts here. Started off going through like a hillbilly shack, and then they've got like a Christmas scene. Oh, and they've got this mine shaft that kind of looks like it goes into the ground, and be careful in there. There may or may not be a rather large beast in there. And they've got some more like wastelandy kind of stuff. Oh, can't forget about the Jason scene. Every once in a while, if you come here on just the right night, they may actually have Jason rising out of the lake. Jason's one of my favorite characters, so super glad we got to see him killing the counselors tonight. That just about sums it up here for Field of Screams. Thanks for coming with us. Let us know if you will be planning on visiting Field of Screams this year, and we will be back later on in the season to give them a full review. We're not going to review them here on opening night. If you want to check that out with all the official reviews and ratings, that's going to be on thescarefactor.com. Oh, I nearly forgot. Before you leave, make sure you stop back by the concession stand. Every night they let people vote for their favorite actors, so stop by there and make sure you write down who was your favorite actor if you come and check them out, and they make sure to give those actors an awesome shout out every night before they go home. We are going to head on out to the next hunt. Hopefully we'll see you there. Until then, stay scary.